Hola y'all, it's Jessie with Seasonal Southern Living in Spanish. And 'tis the season for cinnamon and pumpkin spice. So today I'm bringing you a very easy but super delicious dessert that combines cherries, cinnamon, oats, brown sugar. You're gonna absolutely love it. You can pop it in the oven as you're cooking dinner or right after. It doesn't take long to make it all, and it's with minimal ingredients. This is my cinnamon cherry crisp. So the first thing we're gonna do is add half a cup of granulated white sugar to a bowl. And then we're gonna add 1/4 of a cup all-purpose flour to the sugar and just give this a little bit of a mix. This cinnamon cherry crisp is perfect for the fall and it comes together like that. Okay, after we have our sugar and our all-purpose flour combined, I'm just gonna set this to the side and I'm gonna begin working on my cherry. Now you can use frozen pitted cherries and this recipe would go even faster, but I happen to have fresh cherries here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pit them, and this is gonna get kind of messy and my fingers may end up being red by the time it's over. So you could cut these or whatever, but the pit is in the center. So I just like to squeeze them, squeeze the cherry. Be careful that you do not get this juice on your clothes. It could possibly stain. I should probably be wearing an apron. I just squeezed the cherry and I took the pit out and I'm gonna lay it to the side and I'm gonna continue. I just remembered that I have gloves because I really don't want my hands stained red or my nails. So I'm gonna put on a glove, just one glove for this. But again, remember, you can buy these frozen. I just happen to have fresh in the fridge. So it was a no-brainer to use that. So I'm gonna continue squeezing the cherries and getting the pits out. And when we get done, we should have around 6 cups of pitted cherries. Oh yeah, don't forget to remove the stems if you're using fresh cherries as well. I quickly realized I needed to add a glove to the other hand. It will make this process go by a lot faster. I'm just gonna remove the stem and squeeze the cherry. It is messy, but it's kind of fun. So I have all of my cherries pitted. I've taken the stems off. One great way to check for the pits, because they're very hard to see, is I went in with my hands and I just squished the cherries a lot. Because you can't see the pits, but you can definitely feel them. This also helped me to break down the cherries even more. So I'm gonna take my cherries, about 6 cups, and I'm gonna add it to the sugar and flour mixture. Put them in just like that and make sure I get all of those juices. I did have some splatter on me. Learn a lesson from my negligence, wear an apron or something you don't care about. So I wanna mix in all of the cherries into this flour and sugar mixture really well. Try to make sure that you can see this. We want to make sure it's fully incorporated. That flour is going to act as a thickening agent for our sauce and our crisp. Okay, perfect. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to pour that straight into a baking dish, and I like this little white baking dish. It's not too big, it's the perfect size for this. So I'm just gonna pour it right into the baking dish, and I'm going to spread it evenly. And it is such a beautiful color. It's this deep purple. I mean, it's pretty. This would be a wonderful new dessert for Thanksgiving or Christmas. This would be perfect. Set this to the side, and I'm going to get another bowl. And in this bowl, I'm gonna add the ingredients for our topping that's gonna create the crumble part of this recipe. We're gonna take 1 full cup of oats, right in, 1/2 cup of packed light brown sugar, extra of all-purpose flour. Okay, we need 1/4 cup of softened butter. You, like me, just realized, hey, I need softened butter and I don't have any. I put really hot water into a cup or a thermos that keeps things really hot. I'm gonna pour it out and I'm going to pop my butter into it to soften it very quickly. While I'm waiting on my butter to soften, I'm gonna add 1/2 cup of chopped pecans. This is gonna give us a nice extra crunch. It's a different textural crunch than the oats. They both are gonna be crispy, but in totally different ways. You'll see, it's so good. And I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of cinnamon straight to my topping. Remember, 'tis the season. This is a cinnamon forward recipe. So if you love cinnamon like me, this is great. If you like cinnamon, but you don't want it to be overpowering, you may wanna add just a little bit less than a tablespoon. And if you want some cinnamon in the room, but you don't really want him to have a seat at the table of flavor, not that much, you just like him for a little depth, then maybe do a teaspoon of cinnamon. But I'm gonna do a full tablespoon because I love cinnamon, and this is gonna be in that nice crunchy crust on top. All right, so our butter is softened. If you can remember, set it out and let it get room temperature. It's always nice, but there are a few tricks. You can also pop it in the microwave just for a minute. I'm gonna add it to our cinnamon, oat, pecan, flour, sugar mixture. Take my hands and I'm going to work it in here until it becomes a crumble. By the way, I also preheated my oven to 350 degrees. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna get my hands in there. Don't be shy. Don't be nervous or scared. These are the best tools you have. I'm gonna mix this up and squish it. I'm literally grabbing fistfuls of it and I'm squishing it and incorporating everything together. I want there to be little bits and pieces of the butter in that mixture. I want every oat, every piece of pecan, all of it to have that cinnamon in it and that brown sugar. So I'm just gonna continue squeezing and mixing this mixture until it becomes very crumbly. Okay, one way to know that you've got the right texture is that it's crumbly and everything is moistened a little bit with the butter, so there's nothing that's dry. We're gonna take this mixture. I've already sprinkled a little bit on there. We're gonna take this mixture and we are gonna sprinkle it on top of our cherry crisp. Just like this. We want the entire thing to be covered. That butter is gonna melt. This is gonna get nice and crispy and buttery. Y'all, it's so good. Make sure I push it to the edges. And this dish is perfect. This size is perfect. And personally, I like the white baking dish because you can see the beautiful purple color against it. I don't know. Visuals are very important to me. I like the way things look, food. I want it to look nice. I like contrast in textures and colors. We eat with our eyes first, so it's really important. Alrighty, making sure everything's covered up. We're gonna pop this in a 350 degree oven for about 30 minutes and then it'll be ready to eat. Time to take it out of the oven. You can see like the bubbles of the cherries. They're so hot and it's coming through that crust. I'm gonna taste it just for you and I'm gonna try to not burn my taste buds off. Let's get a scoop. Look at that. It looks so good. The moment of truth. This is gonna be hot. I want cherries. I want enough of the crust. Here we go. It's sweet, but not too sweet. The cinnamon is very forward, very cinnamon strong, which is great. The cherries have this nice consistency. They've thickened up. I want to get a piece of pecan. The oats are so good and nutty. This is it. You have to make it. If you love cinnamon, you have to make it. And stick around this month for more great recipes of cinnamon and pumpkin spice. Adios.